Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This is your humble host, Comrade Fritz Misodi. This is ID Mind Media Radio and Television. Today we're going to be talking on the different types, different forms of mistreatment that the people of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia has been undergoing in the past 60 years of the fake federation that joined us between the people of Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon. We have seen along the years how our people have been betrayed, our people have been mistreated, our people have been arrested, our people have been killed, our people have been put in mass graves, our people have been sidelined, our people have been shown all forms of discrimination, from political discrimination, economic discrimination, go up to socio-economic and what have you. Today I will bring some points, some of those aspects that prove what we are talking about when it comes to these forms of discrimination, so that you can understand what the people of Southern Cameroon have been going through along the years. And most of the people who don't want to speak up because they are just being afraid, they don't have the capacity to speak up because some of them tell us their hands are tied. So don't let anybody tell you something different. Some of them do things against their wish. Some of them say things against their wish. Some of them are afraid to speak up because of this the way the regime is built. The regime is built. The Pobia regime has brought a lot of fear to the people of Southern Cameroon. That is why we abroad are speaking up, because we know if we don't speak up, nobody will speak up. Nobody will speak up because of the fear that the Yaoundé regime has put in the hearts and minds of the people of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia, that their occupation military, the job there is to continue the havoc, to continue the mistreatment, to continue imposing their colonial rule on the people of Southern Cameroon by imposing that fear. Everything they are doing there is what the colonial masters used to do on the people of Africa. Okay, the SDOs you see there, their job is just, they have been appointed by the colonial masters. The DOs, what is their job? What is the job of the DO that the mayors cannot do? We don't have DOs in America. We don't have SDOs in America. Governors are elected. Governors are not appointed. All our political figures are being appointed. Where have you seen they will select senators? Selection of senators. Where have you seen that? Parliamentarians will be selected. Parliamentarians are elected by the people, for the people, and by the government of that people. In Cameroon, all Ambazonian senators, all Ambazonian Southern Cameroonians, so-called people who say they are senators, were not elected. Someone like Mbela Moki, you saw him talking, crying inside the parliament. He was not elected. He was selected by Paul Biya. And when you are selected, all these politicians that are appointed or selected or made to listen to the Yaoundé regime, what do you think they can do? What do you think they can say? They are toothless bulldogs. They have no say. They have nothing to stand up for. So don't blame. We don't blame them because we understand the predicament they are in. They are in a political predicament. We understand. So we understand the level that they can go to stand up to the regime. We understand. So somebody will say, "Oh, that we are the one talking." Yes, we know that we have the right to talk because we are in the position to talk. If we don't talk today, who's going to talk for them? Who's going to talk for the people of Southern Cameroon? Who's going to do that? So we are standing up for the people because we are in the position that we can speak up. If we don't speak up, we know that it will be very difficult for the people of Southern Cameroon to understand that we have the capacity to do so. Okay? But what do we see? We are seeing a situation where the people of Southern Cameroon don't have that capacity to speak because of the situation they find themselves in. Okay? They find themselves in. And what we want to make it clear here is that our people are going through torture, torment, and all forms of mistreatment. And the only way their voices could be heard is when we echo that voice for them. We understand the situation that our people are going through. Okay. Now, the first point I want to make are the mistreatment of the fonds and chiefs. Okay. You know, La Republic does not respect, the government does not respect the fonds and chiefs of Southern Cameroon. Okay. I'll give you one example. When something happens in the Saudi Cameroon Ambazonian side of things, the chiefs don't have a say. The fonds don't have a say. Why? Because the government does not give them any say. But remember, the Southern Cameroon had the House of Chiefs. The House of Chiefs used to pass a lot of bills and pass a lot of decrees, laws that were the guiding principles of the institutions of Southern Cameroon. Back in the days, we had the House of Chief in Boya. There was no House of Chief in the Northern Zone, the House of Chief in the Southern Zone, the Northwest House of Chief, Southwest House of Chief. That's just the system of divide and rule. Okay, where you have those two system where it's been eroded. They intentionally want to erode the traditional heritage of the people of Southern Cameroon. The disrespect of the chiefs, the disrespect of our traditional inheritance, the disrespect of the palace, where the military will go and install their military bases in the palaces, and they will make the funds to flee their villages. Some will go. Now most of the funds and chiefs are in Yaoundé. Most of them are speaking from Yaoundé. Why? Because they are being paid. They are meant to be paid by the government. So the government put them on their payroll to put them in the least means possible. Before, the funds and chiefs were paid by the community. They were not paid by the government. Now, because they are on the payroll of the government with the maybe 100,000 or whatever, I don't know how much they even pay them. They have the first class chief, second class chief, and third class chief. They put them under payroll, and you are made to first of all listen back to the government. The chiefs and fawns of Southern Cameroon, and now they don't listen to the people. They don't listen to the community. They listen back to the government who pays them money to be on a salary form of things. But what I'm saying here is the mistreatment that goes with this form of pattern, right? Where they don't have a say. When they want to say something, they'll say, hey, they'll cut your salary. The community don't have a power to determine their funds and chiefs. You have seen where they will go and install a chief that, because he's a CPGM member, a fund. I saw in one village, even they went and put a Bamileke person as a chief. I'm like, what's going on? The system of chieftaincy and fondoms is rooted in the hallmark of the community, and those people, they call them the people who are kingmakers. Those kingmakers are the ones that decide chiefs are fond. But now, La Republic will just go and ask a DO to go and make a new chief. A SDO will come and appoint their chiefs and fonds in our regions. Where did you see that the chiefs will be appointed by the fonds, or the chief will be appointed by the SDOs and the DOs? The DOs and SDOs, their job is that they act as a colonial administrators. Why do you need DOs and SDOs if there is a mayor in the city? Why do you need these people like government delegate? You remember they went back then, they were, I don't know why they deserved the government delegate, because they had no use. There was a government delegate of Kumba Urban Council, Bamenda Urban Council, Limbe Urban Council. All these were to override the function of the mayors. That was the function of the SDOs and DOs. They had no function. The Pobia appointed the government delegate on these major huge councils. Okay, why? So that they should override the powers of the mayors. Back then, you understand, the SDF had so many councils that they won across La Republic and Ambazonian combined. But the government instead put these people there to subdue them, the powers of the mayors. Today, where are those people? They realize that they have no use, right? The government delegate, what are they doing there? They were just there to just cover the government and impose, and they gave too much powers to the government delegates, right? That was a problem. Now, when you look at the House of Chief today, the functions of the House of Chief, they say that they can decide on doing, they have no portfolio. It's an empty paper, people that they just put them in the house and say they are the House of Chief, doing nothing. Back then, the House of Chief was like the sub-parliament. Okay, then you had the House of Commons. So the House of Chief was like the sub-house that made laws. They passed laws. They were not just sitting there and in the house that they have the without any portfolio, nothing to pass, no powers, nothing. Back then, the House of Chief were the ones deciding on a lot of ministries, passing bills, passing laws, deciding on today, they have just diminished them. Their portfolio is nothing. They don't have anything to do. Okay. Another aspect I want to bring, because I'm just giving just some few tips of how the Yaoundé regime have gradually dilapidated our institutions, our people, and everything. Now let's go to the parliamentarians, the political figures, right? Okay, look at how. Let's start from where the SDF won the elections, because that's where you saw when the people of Southern Cameroon stood up. They say, okay, they want to take back their their lost federal system that they had, right? They voted en masse. Everybody, the whole of Southern Cameroon, all the councils were taken by the SDF. Everything was under the SDF. The Douala Council also under the SDF. Many councils, the SDF was booming. Nijon Frundi won the elections. They started a political campaign against the SDF. There were a lot of mass arrests of SDF members, mass killings of SDF members, and so on and so forth. What happened? They gradually brought in many political parties. Because before then, before 1990, there was just one political party, the CPGM party. It was used to call the CNU party, then it changed now to CPGM. There was just one before 1990. When the SDF came, it was a major opposition party and won the elections. You have seen a video of people testifying how SDF won everything, but they had to manipulate so that BR should continue. But that is the manipulation that started, and all these parliamentarians, all these people, they were gradually being bought over. The CPGM party, they created a lot of political parties. That is how they gradually eliminated Frundi, and they bought him over, and Frundi, finally, you saw even when this crisis started, Frundi was nowhere to be found, right? They tried to put Frundi to say something. Frundi could not say anything because he was bought over. That is how powerless they render our politicians. They were nowhere to be found. Most of the Southern Cameroonian parliamentarians and senators, the SDOs, are all bought over. They work under the Yaoundé regime. Don't expect them to say anything. The mayor, some of them, you saw how Mayor even Belamboki used to be a mayor. Even all these other guys who used to be mayors, and but I'm just giving you how these politicians have been bought over, and they call themselves elites, but they have no powers. Okay, think of the even the top rank position of the prime minister. What power does the prime minister have? Nothing. He's just a toothless bulldog. He's just there doing nothing. They just put him there like a figurehead. Okay, let's give this thing to these Anglophones. Let them just have that prime minister position. Then it's someone like Ngongo who is making decisions, signing document at haute instruction. That's what you see, right? The Ngongo will be the prime minister does nothing. Imagine what happened when the prime minister initiated the Canada-led negotiation. The prime minister rallied all the Southern Cameroon Ambazonian leaders. There were some kind of concessions. The discussion was almost ongoing, and they're trying to see how the Canada government came in to help in the negotiation process, in the mediation process. We saw how the government of Cameroon sent delegation to come and mediate, to help in the process of the negotiation and the discussion to stop the crisis, right? What happened? The prime minister did his best to rally everybody. Okay, let the negotiation begin. The public minister of communication, not even up to the rank of a prime minister, René Sadi, just came and write his own communique that he doesn't know what is going on in Canada. They don't know, the Cameroon government does not know what is going on in Canada. That's how they bypass the prime minister, and the Canadian discussion ended. It ended like that. But that's to tell you that there are people in that government who are ministers, but they have powers more than the prime minister. The prime minister can do what he wants, but his portfolio is not there. I saw this guy call himself Atanganji. He went and passed some law banning NGOs, and there was one NGO that he touched. He doesn't know that woman has link right to the presidency. Atanganji, that woman told Atanganji that, Monsieur Atanganji, méfie-toi. Yes. And imagine that woman is also a lawyer, right? Imagine if it was a Southern Cameroon Ambazonian person challenging Atanganji like that. Just think about that, right? And you understand what would have befall that kind of situation where they would have said no. See what happened to Tamfu, lawyer barrister Tamfu, right? That was beaten and instead charged of 5 counts. Imagine that is somebody who was beaten up, a lawyer, a barrister that was beaten up, but was instead charged by the government for, they say that he was an aggressor against state authority. I mean, then this woman who is called Alice Com challenging Atanganji, but he's not been touched or he's not been challenged, and Atanganji banned that his NGO. It's called a Redac, right? He banned the NGO, but the woman said Atanganji is a small boy. He too is a lawyer. He too is that woman is Alice Com is a lawyer. But who can touch him? Nobody can touch her because she's protected. It's a protected class. Lawyer Tamfu who was molested and beaten, instead giving 5 counts that he's aggressive. Look at the way this woman is talking to Atanganji. You will say, where? Let me play. Watch this woman how is talking to Atanganji, and you say this is a protected class. No Southern Cameroonian lawyer can talk to Atanganji like this and they allow him to go free.
Now, Barrister, in a press conference that was yesterday in Yaoundé, Minister Paul Atanganji says NGOs in Cameroon, including Redac, have received over 16 billion francs CFA and the money is not properly used. Now, what can you say about this allegation?
We have our, when O'Donnell gave you money, he's the one who gave you the money, and he know before he gave the money what you must do with this money. And they control. They are the one who gave the money, who can tell us if we stole the money or if we use the money for the purposes this money was given. Not Atanganji. It has nothing to do with that. So we make every time reports. They know what the money have served, and we don't have any problem for that. But if Mr. Atanganji want to know, he sent a team of keep the to check with our archive what we have. This is not a war. If he want to know, and he should try to know, but in the way you can give him a real explanation for what he is looking for, because I don't think it is looking for says billions, 16 billion money we stole.
I don't want to. I don't want to play the full clip. I just want to give you a sense of what this woman is trying to challenge Atanganji. This is a woman that her NGO Redac has been banned by Atanganji. Okay, then they even seal his shop. But she has an audacity to challenge Atanganji. Okay, and to Atanganji that Atanganji does not know the law. Okay, what does that tell you? It tells you how the authority of someone like Atanganji does not apply to them. It does not apply to some of these people here. Atanganji can only have that power to ban Colas in Bamenda, or ban the other time he banned, that's all he can do. He can ban motorbike to not circulate in Bamenda or Kumba. That's the power Atanganji has. But when it comes to this kind of powers, Atanganji does not have those powers. Look at this woman challenging him. because she knows that nobody can touch her. There are people there that have privilege. They are protected class. It's not. Atakanshi should understand that his powers are limited. You don't have power to do anything to everybody because you could put you a territorial administration. You don't have that powers. Even the prime minister don't have powers to appoint or to dismiss anybody. Someone like Ngongo has more power than prime minister. So don't worry and don't mind those things that is going on there. Before, there was a position of the vice president. Why did Biya eliminate that position of vice president? Because if Biya had to step down from power, the vice president automatically assumed power. There was not that need for going to meet the Senate president, first vice president of the Senate, next vice president of the Senate, and so on and so forth. But now they changed the constitution so that it should not favor the people of Southern Cameroon. It should not favor the people of Southern Cameroon to be president. And they made it clear that a Southern Cameroonian will never, listen, they made it clear, an Ambazonian, Southern Cameroonian of Anglophone origin of Southern Cameroon will never be president in Cameroon, in that country. They have said it. So stop, these people who call themselves federalists should stop fooling themselves and face the reality. They should stop fooling themselves. They don't belong there. You don't belong there. You work for a government that at the end will mess you up and dump you. We have seen a lot of use and dump phenomenon in that government, right? They will use you, dump you, use you and dump you. They only use you when you are needed. If you are not needed, you stay by the side. So for how long will our politicians, our elites, let's give them a high title as they like to be called elites. Where will they be enlightened as the elites to know that they don't belong somewhere that they want to belong? The best decision that our forebears took was when they unanimously, and back then there were also many parties. Some people think that all our the Fonchas and Endelis. No, Endeli had his own party. People like MML, you have so many parties from different people who had political parties in Nigeria, Enugu House, in the house of Enugu. But what happened? They all stood as one when there was that lot of mistreatment in Nigeria. They said no, they have had enough. They unanimously decide and left the Nigerian house of Enugu, came back to Boya. They formed their House of Commons and the House of Chiefs in Boya. That's how united they were. But today, these people, they'll go there. If when somebody like Honorable Wiba, Honorable Kemende, these are people who were either chased away or killed. We already know what happened to Honorable Kemende. They say he died in a motor accident. He was killed. Honorable Kemende spoke. Honorable Wiba stood up. If these parliamentarians stood up as one, they would have left this parliament long ago when this crisis started. But because they don't know what is unity, they don't know what is the meaning of strength, they remain there and thought that they can. Some of them told us that they are fighting from within. You are fighting who from within? That government does not understand that kind of thing. What we saw back in the days where the NCNC, they were marching all over the place. Oh, the force of argument and the argument of force. No, the force of argument. For how many years? More than 30 years. All these guys, Scapo, NCNC, all these guys, before 2016, they were all going around having rally. They were arrested, locked up. Say the force of argument. This is what Capo is coming to say today. Force of argument. La République does not understand that force of argument. They understand the argument of force. That's why they even went to Switzerland to start talking. They even held a Grand National Dialogue to start talking. Because they understand the argument of force. That's what they understand. Our people have gone through a lot of things. Let's look at the journalists. The journalists that are part of the activists. If you want to say justice should be done to our journalists and people that are of the press, all the journalists of Southern Cameroon, of Anglophone, have been bought over by the government of La République du Cameroon. The newspapers don't write what they want to write. There is no freedom of expression. There is no freedom of speech. There is no freedom of the press. Every journalist just write what the government want you to write. You have seen how they have banned all newspapers. They have banned radio stations. They have banned people. There is no grassroots mobilization. Nothing. The activists are being arrested. When the struggle started, because of the disgrace that the Yaoundé regime had, they went ahead and they were trying to ban the internet. They went and they were stopping the internet. They say they want to block the internet. I've never seen that happen. How do you go and block internet? They cut the internet just that they don't want the struggle to go out there, and so that people should know about the ongoing killings and massacre going on, right? What happened? They banned I think the internet was almost 3 months there was no internet. Almost 3 months there was no internet. Because the government do not want the message to go out there that there was any crisis going on. That's what they did. Okay. The fact that you arrest people who are activists, they are political activists, they are people that you go and arrest them illegally, right? Do you want justice for those people, or you just want to suppress them? That's the question you have to ask yourself. That why a government should go and arrest people, like the people languishing in jail. We have thousands of our people languishing in jail because they are just activists. They are just, some are journalists, some are just Ambazonians. They are just people who want to see a better side of their own country. They are now in jail. The Nigerian High Court passed an order that they should release all the Naira 10 and the Taraba 39 that were arrested, right? Up to date, they have not released them. Because the international community does not work like that. The international law does not work like that. You cannot just go and arrest someone somehow, you know. The difficulty they have now with someone like Ayaba is because Ayaba did not say he's from Cameroon. So there's no proof that you say you go and arrest someone who has a different nationality. Ayaba has 2 nationalities. He's German and Norwegian. So how do you... So the difficulty Cameroon government has is that, how do they go and arrest a German citizen? They cannot even go closer to Ayaba now, because they'll say, hey, no. The German citizen will ask, the German government will ask them, hey, why do you arrest our citizen? You see, most of people here are also American citizens. You cannot just go and arrest someone, and say, okay, this person, yes. But that's how the international community work. It's because of the mistake Nigeria government did that the Nigerian High Court went back and checked those files and said, this is a big mistake. You cannot arrest asylum seekers. You cannot arrest people who are seeking asylum, who are Nigerian citizens, and send them back to Cameroon. How? Eh? First of all, they have to go through trial and normal procedure. You don't just arrest someone and just throw in the hands of. Now, see what the Naira 10 are going through, right? All the activists, all the people who are fighting for change, fighting for the independence of their own country, they commit no crime. When Nelson Mandela was arrested for 29 years, what happened? When he was released, he became the hero. Because it's only after that the international community get to understand the meaning of activism. Activists are not journalists, so don't mix them up. Don't put activists and journalists as the same people. No, journalists just report information. Activists are people who are fighting for a particular change to come, or particular aspect. That's activism. It's not about journalism. So when you see those things happening, you should know the difference between journalists and activists. And that's a mistake that the public government is doing. They'll arrest people who are activists thinking that they are journalists. They'll arrest journalists thinking that they are activists. Those are different people. Because if you arrest an activist like Nelson Mandela, he's a political activist. He has his ideology. It will not change. People like Abdul Karim, those are activists. You can arrest them 100 times, they will not change their ideology. Let me read what Abdul Karim wrote. He has been writing a lot of stuff from the prison. He said, as you head to 2025, the election year, remember that the Southern Cameroons fight against annihilation is not a battle against the people of La République du Cameroon. Rather, it's a courageous struggle for freedom against oppression, occupation, and brutality. The one that seeks to liberate both Southern Cameroon and the people of La République du Cameroon. That's Abdul Karim saying that, okay, I don't want to read everything because of time, but he's just giving you the mentality of the activist. He's an activist. If you arrest a political activist, you think that he will change his mindset, then you are lying. Okay? They have their own mindset. They have a cause that they are fighting for. You can go and lock them, beat them up. They will not change. That's why you saw someone like Dr. Akwanga or someone like Ayaba. You think that arresting Ayaba will change his mindset of what he believes? Or it change his way of thinking? But if you arrest journalists, they'll go and start writing, okay, le gouvernement is bon, le gouvernement is bon, le gouvernement camarade est bon. That's how they'll start changing their word. Because they are journalists. But arrest an activist, they will never change their ideology. Activists don't change ideologies. That's the difference. Now, let's talk about the men of God that we thought that some of these men of God, they should be like the guardian principles of life. Instead of men of God who are going there to inform their churches, oh, please stay out of this. This is good. This is good. They will go there and be siding with the government. I saw the video of Archbishop Nkea trying to tell us the role that they played in the Grand National Dialogue that failed. The failed Grand National Dialogue. It was all just something that of just they were all bought over. Okay, most of these men of God, they are there to help guide their communities instead of making sure that their denominations are helping their people. They will side with the government. That is how bad it is. Okay, but if the men of God want justice for their own people, they should stand up for the truth. Stand up for what God has asked them to do as men of God. Because if not, we understand a lot of them are under fire. Even Atanganji has gone ahead and banned some churches. that he doesn't want some churches. They ban a lot of churches just because those churches are trying to be apolitical. When they say apolitical, means that you don't want to be political, and that is how churches should be. Church is a place to go and pray and heal and try to help the people, their mental stability. It's not a place to go and play politics. Most of these men of God are politicians today. They use their churches. I saw how one pastor there was blessing the governor of Northern Zone, Lele Lafrique, saying that God should give him all these. That is a man that is killing your own people in the whole of that area. You are blessing the person in church. There was one day when Atanganji visited Kumba, and Atanganji wanted to say that Bia has been ordained by God. One woman in Kumba stood up and said, "Objection." Atanganji was confused. Said that woman was full in spiritual coverage. He said, "Atanganji's objection. That poor Bia is not ordained by God." That is where you know that that there are courageous people who can speak up. But men of God cannot speak up like that. They are just there trying to pretend and go with what the government is saying, and that's how they are. So many things have gone wrong in terms of infrastructure. See, Atanganji was the other day. Atanganji was crying about land grabbing in CDC. The lands in CDC have been taken all by these colonial SGOs and colonial governors. They will sell those lands to their people. Instead of expanding the CDC, they are selling the lands that crops can be planted there. That's how bad it is. Then Belamoki is still crying about roads. What we knew back then is that a lot of people who were capable of even tarring their own roads, the government refuses development. But I've seen like in Nigeria, right? The government will be happy to see people tarring their streets if they are capable of doing it, right? There are streets that people will just team up, 5 people, put money together, tar their street. These other people will do this, tar their street. That's how development comes. But the government of Cameroon does not want that to happen. If you want to tar your own street, you have to go and pay money. You go through a process. They will not even allow the thing to go through. That's how they stall development. There are people who can tar their street, can fix their roads, because the government would take years and years and political campaign, election. Oh, roads will come and fix. Like Mbelamoki said, the next cry now is the next election will be about roads. We'll come and fix this road. We'll come and fix this road. But he said, what are they going to tell their people? Because of the lies and lies and lies. The Grand National Dialogue, go and check for yourself the list of promises and how many promises have been kept. One. All the list of things that they say they'll do, the Tico Airport, the Limbe Deep Sea Port, this all on paper. You remember Zacchaeus Fojindam, who used to work at the seaport and wanted to start the Limbe shipyard? He was jailed and locked up. He's now in prison. Zacchaeus Fojindam. That's someone who went. And I used to work at a seaport, at the Douala port before, but working under a foreign company as a director of the port. I'll tell you that the Douala seaport is so saturated that the whole of Cameroon and Chad and Central Africa, they are using the Douala. Imagine the Limbe's deep sea port, the benefit that it could bring. These people don't want to construct the Limbe seaport. They prefer to go and construct it in Kribi. One time there were these Koreans who came to Cameroon to come and do feasibility studies. The government asked them to do feasibility studies to check which port is good to construct, either Limbe or Kribi. The Koreans came and said, you're asking me if an ocean and a small river creek, which one is preferable? Kribi is a small river. Limbe is a seaport facing Nigeria. The biggest economy in the whole of Africa. The trading there, things, and as simple as that, things will be cheap. You go there, shipping yard, Equatorial Guinea, then most of these other areas, people want to ship their goods using even the Limbe seaport. The government don't want that. Imagine how many jobs can be created just for opening the Limbe seaport. Just the Limbe seaport alone. I'm not talking about Sonara. I'm not talking about CDC, who is the second largest employer. But think of the seaport. First of all, the construction alone will create jobs. The shipyard that will create jobs for building ships and ship construction. The cargo side of things, the export and import, the foreign companies that will come to have their, so there will be a lot of job opportunities, because it will be bigger than the Douala seaport, because it's a sea. It's not Douala seaport is a small creek, and the sun in Douala, they always feel that the Douala seaport, they have to dig it every time. I'm just giving you an example of how these people intentionally does not want the progress of the people of Southern Cameroon. Okay, there are so many things that I wanted to talk about, but I don't want to talk because of time. Okay, I'll end here for now, but a lot of things going on that we are going to be talking. Okay, but know that we are fighting an existential threat, the threat of the existence of the people of Southern Cameroon. And if we don't fight that threat, you think that the threat doesn't exist, but it's an existential threat of your own existence. So know and fight for what belongs to you is the only solution to stop an existential threat. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, and make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit the like button. Okay, thank you, and God bless you. God bless the people of Southern Cameroon.
ina suho